Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast,
episode number 63. Coming to you from the desolate wastelands of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're recording on Saturday, March 2nd, and I am your host, Elric Edge. With me tonight is
Ryan Taylor and
Bill Costello. Jeez, he was going to leave me out.
I was waiting for you to show some initiative.
I'm now confused as to who's going to be saying this every week. Like, is there going to be a fist fight, or is it just...
We'll let the listeners decide.
Yeah, I feel like we'll put a poll on Twitter.
Yeah.
Who should announce the show?
Bill or me? Or Ryan?
I don't want to be part of this.
Oh,
These
okay.
two can fight together.
I'm telling you, it's going to be you.
Yeah.
So.
People love your voice.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
we did a fantastic radio entry
Yes, we
the other
did.
week.
You didn't hear that one.
No?
Yeah. Well, you don't listen. So.
No, I don't. God, no, I don't listen
We did
to
the
this.
typical KRQ radio intro.
Welcome
to the Rolling Bad Podcast.
Wow.
It was bad. It was really bad.
We didn't have like the...
Jeez.
And of course, who was it that hit me up on WhatsApp and said it was the first time they ever played the episode aloud in front of other people at work? And that was the episode that we went nuts on the intro.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, I was only a little embarrassed. So anyway, welcome back, Elric.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
nice
buddy.
to see you again.
Is
I
it?
haven't seen you since the last time we recorded. Oh, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Sorry, listeners, I'm back.
yeah.
It's
Well,
the number one email we've received. I
Yeah,
don't have access to the emails, but I'm going to assume it's the number one email we've received
I'm sure it is.
from elricsmum@gmail.com.
Elric's mom.
when's Elric coming back to the show?
I'll never hear from my son no more.
Well, what actually happened was Elric lost his day job, so we had to hire him back.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Professional Elvis impersonator
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
at the Roxy in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm back.
Yes, you are. And I, for one, am glad to have you back. Not just because you're on the show and it makes life easier for me, but because you're back in the hobby and we all get to
yeah.
be graced with your presence for however long it takes for you to have another hissy fit. So.
Wow. Wow. This is a very expensive hissy fit.
Did I just marginalize you?
Yeah, a lot. God. Oh, fair
I'm
enough.
sorry.
Fair enough.
Well, don't cry, dude. It's
No,
fine.
I'm not going to cry.
It's all good.
This
I'll
is
hold
a
it
safe
together.
Space.
Is it?
No. it's
Okay,
not.
I was going to say.
This is the most unsafe space I know of. So for today's show, we're going to dance all over the place. We're going to talk about some new stuff that's come out. We're going to recap the Las Vegas Open a little bit. But before we go any further, I need to apologize for the long delay in recording and getting this episode out. In short, since LVO, I've had 3 people very close to me pass away. And it seems like every Wednesday since LVO. So I've been in no shape really to record or even work on a podcast. So I do apologize to everyone. My bad, but it gave us enough time to get Elric back. So that's a good thing. So, you know,
I don't think that's a very
that 3-week break.
solid trade there.
Oh, well, no, maybe not a trade, but you know,
I don't think there's any apologies needed. I think real life comes in the way sometimes.
And seeing as how you're like 90% of this show.
yeah, please.
Yeah, no. You can take all the time.
33%.
We also
There's
edit,
3 of us.
so you could be 100% of the show.
Yeah,
You never
really.
know. We'd never listen to the show.
Never
so
listen.
I was going to say, you guys don't
It's
listen.
actually just
so-
Bill going, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Today
replaced
with me is Elric. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
That's why the numbers are so bad. You edit like crap. Okay. Anyway, also in the introduction today, I want to send a very special shout out to a couple of friends of all of ours. One of them would be Aaron Bostian, and the other one would be Chuck Moore. I'll get to another thing for Chuck here in a second, but the tickets for the Nova Open went on sale last night at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. The narrative event for Nova was sold out in 10 minutes. The GT, which is considerably larger, sold out in about an hour and a half. So those guys are really hitting it out of the park there with Nova. So
Yeah.
congrats to both of them for putting on great shows in the past and, of course, for selling out in short order. I also want to send a big shout out to Chuck Moore, who was selected as one of this year's Hobby Heroes. And well deserved, I might add. So hurrah for Chuck. Yay.
Indeed. Definitely.
Yeah, congratulations.
So anyway, I think that was it for the intro. We can probably press on to the show, right? Because we're going to talk about, in the lore section, we're going to talk about Realm Slayer, the book, the audio drama.
Yeah, then we'll go on a wild ride through who we think should come back or not.
Yeah.
And then we'll
Talk a little creation, do a book review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit of Realm Slayer for
Mhm.
fun. And then talk about all the buying that I've done.
Yeah.
A little bit about non-PG-13 Smash Randy's Butthole narrative.com.
That's right.
2019.
Hashtag.
SMRBC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SM.
SR.
SR.
SRBC.
SRB.
Hashtag SRBC.
NC.
SRBNC.
Okay. So,
Anyway.
also on the show.
And that's a wrap, Bill.
No, we weren't done.
No, we were done. We said everything.
Let's move on to the show. Okay, so now in the new dawn, we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's come out in the last month, mostly because we've been away for so long. But I think the highlight has to be Carrion Empires, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Sure.
Yeah, it's one hell of a great set.
Yeah, it's great value, especially since all the Start Collect boxes went up.
Mm-hmm.
It's now really good value for what you get in there. It's basically 2 Start Collect boxes at the old $85 price.
Yeah.
Cheaper than that, actually.
Yep.
So, it's the only way to get a couple of characters.
Yeah, the Warplock Engineer or
The Bombardier.
Bombardier, yeah, my bad. Sorry. And the Arc Regent for the Flesh Eater Courts, and he's of course cooler than candy, and he's kind of a mainstay on a lot of the lists that are out there now.
Yeah, he's essentially free.
Yeah.
He's a 2 casting wizard for free because he's 200 points and he can summon 200 points of ghouls.
Yeah. So
So
he's got game. He's got legs.
Yeah.
So
alongside that came out 2 battle tomes on the same day.
yeah.
For only the second time for AOS.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think they're both making an impact like right away in the scene, as it were.
Yeah, the Sheffield Slaughter came up last weekend and they had 5 of the top 10 between them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
that's fun.
I think one of those, Ben Johnson coming in second. I'm not trying to disparage the result or anything, but he's had a little bit of experience playing this new book. So, and it was the first day of release. So I would expect them to do pretty good.
I mean, to be fair, we only did have to paint up the endless spells and the piece of terrain.
Yeah.
Because he's been playing that type of army for a while.
Mm-hmm. He's been playing Flesh Eater Courts as long as it's been around. So he's got the experience. And of course, we got to throw a shout out since you brought up Sheffield Slaughter. We got to throw another shout out to Warhammer TV Dan, who just won his second big event with his Beasts of Chaos.
Yeah, Battle Tome Zangor.
Yeah.
Is it his list or is it Mark's list? That's the controversy right now.
Ooh.
So who wrote the list?
Oh, my.
Well, I know is that Dan won the event with the list and Mark did not.
Hmm.
They were on the exact same list.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently.
I love controversy. This is great. I'm in Camp Dan.
Find out after the click. Pretty much.
So, yeah, I mean, Carrion Empires to me it's got a great little booklet inside. I mean, it's a pretty neat little campaign in and of itself. The book that's inside there has got some nice background history and stuff, and it's got some cool little scenarios for what's in the box. So if that's all you had, you could actually play it. I don't know, I don't want to say disappointed, but I was unimpressed with the Skaven side. Because and I just say this because my wife she plays Skaven, and she has all that stuff that's in there. So the only thing that was new for her was the Bombardier. So, oh well. But it was still, it's still made for a cool little series, and we played the first scenario, so it's fun. got her back into the whole AOS 2 mentality that she never had. When I say back, I mean for the first time ever.
Nice. And obviously with that also came, as I mentioned briefly, the endless spells.
Oh,
the
yeah.
terrain piece for each of the armies.
Yep.
And then, did Flesh Eater Curse get dice?
No.
It was just Skaven.
Yeah. Skaven got dice, and they're very, very cool. I like those dice a lot.
Do they bounce around like the Squig dice?
No, they're not. They're not real bouncy. They're actually much harder, but they seem to roll really well. And I don't know if that's a flaw in it, but I've heard other people saying they roll really well. So
you're saying we should get Randy a set of Skaven dice?
probably,
Okay.
unless we want the second verse same as the first. Smash Randy. Anyway, we'll move on to that later.
What else came out?
Let me see here. There was something in New Dawn that I wanted to bring up, and this was from LVO, and we haven't really done our LVO recap so much yet, but it'll come up. But one of the things that was in the bag, the swag bag, if you got the High Roller package, was this package of things called squad marks. And I'm going to have the link in the show notes to squadmarks.com. But these things are really, really cool. And if the first time I looked at them, I was like, what the heck are these things? They're just basically discs, and the pack I got was 25 millimeter. And what you do is you literally slide a 25 millimeter base onto this thing, and it has these two wings that stick up. And what you can do is you can somehow designate by painting those two wings maybe a different color or putting something on there to differentiate. And you can tell when you get two units, when we have 2 units of 20 chain rasps right next to each other, which one belongs to which unit. You can now have a really easy visual indicator of which ones are in which unit, even though they might get interspersed a little bit. So they're really cool, and I think the side benefit that comes with them is each pack of 10 of these things comes with 10 magnetic stickers that you can put on the bottom of them. So now they work if you have magnetic cases or a Magnarack or something like that, or A cases. They work just fine right out of the bag. And they're not super expensive either. So I got home from LVO and I ordered like 50 of them. No, I ordered 100 of them, 50 of each size, because the wife needed them for her Skaven. I need them for my plague bearers. You can use them for everything because the bases just slip in and slip out. So you can use them over and over again. Very handy thing. I thought they were really cool. That was my hit of LVO. So
Nice.
any other New Dawn stuff that we're missing? What new books came out? I don't remember.
Books. Oh, a couple of the Warhammer Adventure books.
Oh,
that came out.
Yeah, Warhammer Adventures came out. Yeah.
Finally, books that I can read.
Yeah. I'll tell you,
Excited.
you know me, I'm dumb enough. I bought not only the books, but I bought the audio books too. And I'll tell you what, listening to David Tennant read the one so far has been, it's hard to listen to him tell a Warhammer story and not wonder when he's just going to pull the screwdriver out and say, screw this, I got it. You know? I guess I'm just too stuck on Doctor Who, but I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts about the Warhammer Adventures?
I haven't read them yet.
Well, even then, what about the whole overarching idea of sort of cleaning it up and dumbing it down? I don't want to say dumbing it down, but
Making it more kid friendly.
yeah.
Well, as the owner of a couple of kids, I think it's a great idea.
Owner?
Yeah.
Wow.
Parent, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I got one of they put out a copy. It had a story from AOS and a story from 40K in it that I got from Anders over at the store, and I gave it to my son. And he was really excited. I'm sure he never read it, but he was excited. So it serves its purpose.
Yep.
In anything to get younger people more involved in the game. You know, it's a digital world we live in, and so anything that pries kids away from their damn phones,
Yeah, exactly.
I think is a win. So I probably just sounded like a really old, cranky guy right there.
You sounded like me right there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the Republican Party, man.
No, let's not get too crazy here.
Yeah, let's not.
I'm not that old and embittered. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. It's just for the same reasons you say. Although I did watch The Dragon Prince on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Which the art style seems very close to what they've got there for Warhammer Adventures. It's an adventure. I thought it was a book originally because it comes up and goes, Book 1, Moon, Chapter, blah, blah, blah. It turns out it's not a book. It's just made for Netflix, and that's how they decided to put it together. But it's, if you haven't seen it, it's the story of humans f*** up and elves literally push them to the west, and then they kill a dragon and its egg. The elves come back to assassinate the king, and then one of them's young and befriends two princes, and they have to go back and take an egg back to the dragons. That is where but it showed that you could have action, it showed that you could have fight scenes, things like that, whilst keeping it PG-8 in there. And so, I don't know who it is that we need to get in a room, but maybe, I don't know, Jarvis Johnson and Netflix's animation division, and just get Warhammer Adventures on there. Because I think it would work really well just as a TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still had, like, these are elf assassins coming to kill the king. And they fight through the guards. They never kill them, or you never see the blade go through their back or anything like that.
No.
But they get past them by knocking them down, running away, and there's some scary moments, and then they talk about things like, hey, it's okay, you're different, and it's okay, you were going to kill my father, but we're friends now. Friendship is magic.
Friendship is heresy.
Yeah, so I think they could totally do that with that same sort of style, either in book format, which it seems like they're doing.
Yeah.
But also branch into that Saturday morning TV show type thing, which would just reach a bigger audience. So get on it, GW. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they do something like that. Even if it is, aimed at kids and not us. I mean, I think I'm one of the few people in the universe that like the Ultramarines movie, but I mean, they need to have some kind of exposure like that even if it is aimed at kids, I mean, that's great because that's where the hobby grows.
Well, I mean, here's the big thing, right? I'll speak for myself, but when I was a kid, right, I used to watch a bunch of TV shows, cartoons, things like that. You look back on it and you're like, oh, I love the X-Men because I watched the animated TV show. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Thundercats, although that went downhill apparently seemingly pretty quickly. But, you look back with nostalgia. If there's nothing there to instill that nostalgia, then you're just left with heresy.
Yeah.
And thoughts of that 12-year-old that beat you at 40K when you were like 30.
Still haven't let that one go, have you?
Nope. Well, I'm still not playing 40K.
Still bitter.
It's okay.
God,
It's all right.
Gonna get you to turn the page, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we line up a 12-year-old so that I can beat them?
You beat
Don't
Randall.
record that part.
Wow. Wow.
I was going to start that entire section with, as in the pre-purchasing phase of a child.
No. And we're on a list again.
Like, as an owner of a child.
Yeah, that was, wow, owner of a child.
Yeah. Warhammer Adventures, thumbs up.
I'd say big thumbs up.
And then released today, 2 new Star Collecting boxes.
Yeah.
Maggotkin of Nurgle, which gives you pretty good value, even though I think it's $95.
The Maggotkin? No, the Maggotkin's the good one. You get the 2 Puscoil Blight Lords.
Mm-hmm.
You get the 5 Blight Kings, the Lord of Blights.
Yep.
And what else?
Was that it?
Yeah, that was it. 8 models.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're pretty much getting that Lord of Blights for free.
Yeah, then some. Because it's like $60 for the...
Yeah, for the Puscoils.
And $50 for the
Blight Kings.
For the Blight Kings. So that one comes with some good value.
That was a great one. The Idoneth Deepkin one, I don't know. I got one for the wife because she's doing that army also. And it's a pretty good deal also. It's not as good, but it's close.
It's cheaper than buying a box of Thralls
and
a box of Eels. Mm-hmm. So if you want a balanced Idoneth Fourth, it's great. If you just want Eels,
well,
not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, but I think a balanced army is probably better.
Yeah.
That's what Pashby had at LVO.
Yeah.
It was a pretty nasty army.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yep. Good looking army.
yeah.
That was insane, actually. That one looked pretty cool. Indeed.
And the last thing that I want to bring up, the Games Workshop stores now have in their possession vouchers in the States. Vouchers for people who have been playing less than a year to go to the New Hobbyist Expo. And they've announced the dates. The New Hobbyist Expo is going to be October 19th and 20th in Grapevine, Texas. It's just like the one last year. And it's, that show that's pretty much aimed at the new hobbyists. So if you know somebody that's new to the game, or I think the thing was within a year of, starting to get into it, they'll just give you the voucher for free and you can get into the expo.
Does it count if you haven't played a game in a year?
Well, we're in.
we're in. We're done. I've been collecting for 20 years, but
my last game was
in 1994.
Yeah, no. I don't think they're going to let us in on that basis.
Nice. That's my birthday.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
So you can go to the New Hobbyist Expo in Grapevine, Texas.
I am not going to do anything in that last part of the year.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you probably won't, will you?
Nope.
He'll be owning a child.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Down payment's in.
Yep.
Yeah, I've put in my deposit.
Well, sweet
Ooh,
little
double
tax break.
entendre.
I'm just on the wait list. It's pretty
Oh.
Oh, that's bad. Okay,
All right, so we were wrapping up New Dawn.
let's wrap that up and
All right,
move on. And now we're going to move on to the realm of creation, where we're going to talk about the things that we built or bought over the last month.
Yes, purchases hobby.
Sure, it counts.
Yes, it does.
Okay, what have you got, Bill?
Want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, what did I do? Okay, so I ordered the set of the Osgiliath terrain from the Middle Earth set, mostly because the 3 box is only like, I think, $95 or something. And of course, I've hacked them up and cut them up and made some terrain pieces that are going to be good for both games. I mean, I'm planning on using them for both Sigmar and, Middle Earth. So that was one thing. I'm still working on hacking it apart and putting it together. So
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time that I've actually seen them in the wild, so to speak.
yeah.
And I'm surprised how generic they actually
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
They look like you can fit in anywhere.
Yeah. Any kind of fantasy setting they work great for. So, yeah, if you're looking for some terrain that isn't strictly Sigmar, those Osgiliath sets, it's a great deal. It's a great bargain, and you can cut them up and do what you want with them. I made a 2-level building out of it. Just doing some stuff because I want more varied Sigmar terrain, and I want to have something to bring to Randy Fest. So, yeah. Let me see. I built the Charnel Throne. That's already up on Facebook. I think people have already seen that. I finished up that Charnel Throne for the Flesh Eater Courts. What else did I do? I'm working on my Bladegeist Revenants. I did more work on those this morning. So that's also for Randy Fest.
Did you get the war poles or whatever they're called for Pam? The Skaven terrain?
Oh, the Nahals? Yeah.
Nahals, yeah.
Yeah, she's got a set of those. Actually, she was given those as a gift from the store owner, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of cool deal. But the big thing that I want to talk about is sort of a mini review, and pardon me if I talk too long about this, but while I was gone during February, my copy of Armies, Legions, and Hordes, the book that was written by Dave Taylor, came in.
It looks beautiful. We can really see it right now.
Oh, this is fantastic.
It's great radio right now. Oh, it's hardback, and it has...
This is why we can't have nice things, okay?
Is it?
Yeah, see?
You're always like, hey, look at this really cool thing that I got, and then you never show it to us.
Well, that's because you'll get your greasy fingerprints on it.
Yep.
I don't have shrink wrap on that. Oh, God, you're going to look at the pages, too.
I've contained it.
The smell of a new book. It's so
Oh,
good.
look at this.
He
It's-
licked one of the pages.
I mean, I'm surprised GW haven't shut this down with the amount of GW models that are in here.
There's a lot of other models, too, though.
Sure.
What I want to say about the book, though, is it's a fantastic book. It's from Dave Taylor, so it's going to be good. What it is it's about painting armies, legions, and hordes. So doing big projects. There's nothing in that book about how to paint anything. There's nothing about what colors to use, or this is all about how to plan a project, how to follow through, how to tackle anything from a skirmish band to, an army, a huge army. And it's a really great book. He's got a lot of great thoughts in there, a lot of great stories, of course, great pictures of a lot of Dave Taylor's miniatures, which is really nice. But he's also got guest people in there. He's got like Ash from Guerrilla Miniature or Guerrilla Wargaming, Guerrilla Gaming. Yeah, he's got Mel Bowes does a piece in there about doing terrain, and it's just a fantastic book. It was a Kickstarter, but it's going to be hitting the retail stores here shortly. So if you see a copy of Armies, Legions, and Hordes, it's really good for, giving you thoughts on how to do an army, how to approach a bigger project. So definitely two thumb appendages up from Papa Nurgle. So
nice. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous.
I always like seeing armies. So
yeah,
a book full of them. It's
Well-
almost like an internet page.
yeah, and it's Dave Taylor, and if you don't know of him, go to Dave Taylor Miniatures and you'll see, yeah, he does amazing work, conversions, and then the thought process and how to get your color schemes. He doesn't go into, this is how you do blending and this is how you do shading. There's none of that in there. It's an overview of how to do all this stuff. It's a really good addition to a hobbyist library.
I remember seeing this army, the Imperial Guard, but it uses Bretonnian men-at-arms
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
bits. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where people hit a stumbling block, right? Is I want to do something cool, but how do I start?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what color is it, how do I paint it, anything like that. It's how do I get this off the ground? Even started. So I'm going to look through that.
Yeah. It's really, he's got a lot in there about, how do you maintain your focus and your motivation. I know a lot of times you'll start an army project. I did it with the Death Guard, I'm going to build all the models. I'm going to get all the models primed. I start painting them, and then, something else comes up, it falls by the wayside. There's just different ways to approach a project like that. And so, yeah, it's an awesome resource. And I think next time I'll cover the asset drop boxes because I have 2 of them now. So I'll cover those next time. What do you got, Randy? Oh, Randy.
I don't know, Bill. I'm in dreamland right now. It's really salty up here. I don't know, Bill. Thanks, Randy.
Our roving reporter.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan.
I put Stormcast in my KO because I need spells.
That's staying in.
Oh, he's gonna be so salty.
Yes,
anyway,
he is.
yeah. I think that is what he's working on. He's doing a bunch of terrain right now.
Yeah, he's been doing some amazing terrain. It's beautiful what he's putting together.
I've told him that I need it for the event that we're running.
Yep.
It's giving him the push to get it done.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's probably for the best, because if he was doing anything for an army, it's not going to matter. He can't win a game anyway.
So I hear he's supposed to bring 1,500 points, but he's just going to bring 0 so that he can't give up any points in the game.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Can't lose if you don't play.
He's going to push for the draw.
Oh, God, we are so
harsh.
cold.
Yeah, we're harsh. Anyway,
Cold-blooded.
like his dreams.
See what you did there.
Yep. Anyway, what have I been working on? I built a bunch of Chaos Warriors, or Warriors of Chaos, I think they're called officially in the book. I've built 42 of them. Still have about another 60 to go.
Damn.
I'm just building them all. I'm not giving them arms yet until I can find halberds,
Yeah.
which I can't find anywhere. GW don't sell them anymore.
Oh, great.
But I just wanted to, they've been sitting on my shelf and in boxes for a while. So Slaves to Darkness, hopefully you get a book. I've also done a bunch of purchasing. So I bought 2 Sigmarite Mausoleums, 4 Azerite Ruins, 1 Azerite Townscape, 3 sets of trees, all for the event that's coming up. So it'll allow me to have at least a table of terrain for when I play games at my house, as well as setting up for this big battle that we're going to have.
Yeah,
Yay.
hashtag SRBC.
SRBC.
Yes.
SRBC 2019.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be magical.
It's actually SRBCN. We have to add narrative to the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
It's only narrative if you make a narrative.
Well, we'll make it narrative.
Pretty sure the first 4 letters explain what the narrative is.
Oh.
Should we tell everybody what it is?
Let's see, what else did I buy? I may have bought a couple of Carrion Empires as well.
Might have.
No, I definitely did.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to a new store, newish to me anyway. Fairly local, only an hour out rather than 3.5.
Super low.
And bought them out at Carrion Empire.
Nice.
Yeah. So just before everybody was like, oh, this is out of stock, I'm like, yeah, it is.
Can I buy one of your Arc Regions?
No, I need to.
You bastard.
How else am I going to get troops on the board when all my monsters are battle line?
But you're not playing Flesh Eater cards.
Shh.
Oh, he's playing Flesh Eater cards. Great.
Oh, boy.
This week, I am.
Meta Chaser.
Yeah.
I figured that I am the R group's equivalent of Brad Swan. I'm not as good as him at playing, but I keep on seeing memes about him with one of the orcs from Lord of the Rings, where it's the phrase meets back on the menu. Instead, it's just a list of all the armies that Brad's went through. So it's like,
Wow.
looks like Skaven, Slaanesh, Khorne. Skaven, Khorne, Slaanesh, Nagash, Skaven, Slaanesh, Skaven. It's back on the menu, boys.
Nice.
So I figured that list would be too long for me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
It'd
little
be
bit.
like 30 minutes of me going, Flesh Eater cards, Nagash, Khorne, maybe Khorne, Iron Jaws,
Yeah, I was going to say Iron Jaws are going to feature pretty
Predominantly.
heavily on there.
Stormcast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Jaws, Stormcast, Iron Jaws.
I can't wait for you to do the Flesh Eater
Oh.
cards so I can buy them.
And I also
Yeah.
got my heads
Yes.
as well.
You got heads.
Bill Pick Me Up head
Yep.
from Las Vegas.
From Vegas, yeah.
Yeah.
Imported head from Vegas.
Yeah. Elric, what have you been doing?
Elric,
in
on your grand
absence?
return to the hobby.
Yeah. Since I actually promised myself I would do hobby this time.
Yeah. You're
Coming
doing
back into it. Yeah. Been building Troggoths. So I have a dank old Trog boss built and ready to go. Primed. I just got to start painting him, which was originally what I was going to do today, except 3 boxes of rock gut Troggoths fell into my hands.
Uh-oh.
So I am frantically building rock guts.
Beautiful models.
Yeah, fantastic kits in preparation for SRBC.
Mm-hmm.
And
SRBCN.
yeah. Yeah, I was originally going to get the Loon Shrine and just stuff to kind of round out more just Gloomspite in general, but I want to do a pure Troggoth army for Randy Fest. And,
Nice.
And it's actually going to require more trolls than I thought it would. So I need to get these built, primed, and painted and just keep plugging away at it. When is Randy Fest?
April 13th. So a month and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Time frame.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll try and get them done.
Get them at tabletop and then always never go back.
And never, ever.
Never go back.
So,
No, once they see dice, they never get another brush stroke.
Yeah. So, nice. Kill C hobbying.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's refresh. No, it's terrible. I hate this aspect of the game. I hate painting. I hate building. I just want to play the game. But I promised myself that I would do all of it this time around.
Nice.
And not just buy up random armies and get rid of them and do all. I'm going to buy one army, focus on it, play it, all that stuff. So
I admire you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I don't know. It's a good place to be, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until Tyrion's elves come out.
There you go.
So, or Malarian, one of the two. We'll see.
Dibs
Or
on
Sisters of
that.
Battle. So I want to do a 40K force as well, but that's way down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how this chaos comes out of Vigilis. Whether or not I join you on that 40k.
Those look
Thing.
fantastic. God, those models
They
look
look
fantastic.
so good.
Don't worry though, every Chaos Space Marine player out there will bitch about how terrible they are.
Oh, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Shut up.
My last cannon only wins on 2s rather than 1s. So
Yeah.
Imperium's got it.
Whatever. Anyways, move on. I could rant for hours about how whiny
Go.
CSM players are.
Well, I think that wraps out creation.
Yeah. With a rant.
Yeah. So let's move on to Bell.
Welcome to the Rolling Bad Oh. Now we're going to do the Realm of Battle, where I don't know what you guys have been doing here lately. What's the Realm of Battle?
A little bit. I figured we'd start with the LVO recap.
Oh, okay.
So,
We talk about other people's battles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we
what,
live
that's what I figured.
vicariously through other people.
I have some.
And then Bell has some non-AOS games that he likes to talk about.
Yeah.
And then we're done.
Boy. Sweet.
Even played an AOS game, so stop.
So yeah, we'll talk about the LVO, do a little recap on that. One of the big changes we made for this year was instead of trying to get people to play 4 games on one day, we broke the whole event up over 3. Well, we broke the GT up over 3 days.
Yeah.
Play 3 games day 1, 2 games day 2, and then if you made the top 8, you continued to day 3 on Sunday, and it was a single elimination. I think people really liked it. In that, one, you did have to play 4 games on one day.
That's a huge.
And the other thing was only having to play 2 games on the Saturday meant that people got to sleep in a little bit.
Yep.
And then we were done kind of early. So they got to go out and enjoy things.
You get to see the actual con going on around you.
Yeah. Or, go enjoy Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Which, we did.
You did a little, didn't you? Well, we won't get into
what
that.
I can remember. So, yeah. Overall, I think the event ran pretty well. I know we got some critiquing about the stream.
Oh, yeah.
And there was some people that weren't particularly happy with how that whole thing went. So, Scott and I have talked about that.
Well, that stream, to be fair to the stream itself, it was put together at the last minute.
Oh, okay.
So, it's... I mean, up until, what was it, like Tuesday, there wasn't going to be a stream. And then there was just enough equipment because Warhammer brought theirs and Frontline brought theirs.
Oh, okay.
So it became available. And then, of course, you didn't have real hosts lined up, people that were prepared. So it went a little weird.
Something like that. The feedback that I got for the pack and the missions and everything, I think everybody pretty much enjoyed it. It was interesting to see some of the armies that made like the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
There was 2 Ideneth Deepkin armies that made it. Obviously Andrew with the Stormcast was up there. There was another Stormcast army. So that was nice. Going into the event, I was pretty confident Nagash would be up there, if not taking out the whole event. But no, Nagash did not do that well.
Yeah.
I was really surprised.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I think it was pretty good. The doubles ran smoothly. I didn't really partake in the doubles. I was kind of busy watching the top table on the stream and helping Scott do other things. But I know that you and I were talking about for next year wanting to try to add a narrative event to LVO, because that's kind of one of the things missing at the moment. I know there's a lot of people that play in the GT, and I think they do it to experience the event and get games in and see people every year that, you generally only get to see at a convention like that. And they're not there to compete really. Yeah. They just want to kind of get the games around in the vibe. And enjoy the social thing. And I think a narrative event would appeal to them a lot more.
I think so.
Than the GT itself. So hopefully we can do something about that.
Yep. That's for sure. Throw a big shout out to Bill Souza, who actually took the whole event with Flesh Eater Courts.
Before
the new book. Yeah. So he was using the old stuff and making it pay. So major shout outs to him for doing that. That was awesome.
Indeed.
Gotta say I was forced to watch Sunday from the stream perspective, and boy, there were some good games on there. I mean, a lot of the stream games were good games between good players. I mean, there was a couple of whoops. That was probably not a good matchup, but it was good. Saw some really interesting tactics being used. So, overall, I thought it was pretty cool. So, I wish I could have been there live, but hey.
Maybe one of these years Ryan will join us at the Las Vegas Open.
Was there a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was.
You going to come back, buddy?
Yeah, I told my wife.
Yeah?
Yeah. I told her if I only go to one event, it needs to be the Rolling Bad Rumble. And when that doesn't go ahead, we'll... No, I told my wife that if we go one event a year, it's going to have to be LVO.
Yeah. One big event. Because you got to make some of the ones in Denver with us. Especially the team event. You got to make the team event.
Got to make the team.
Clan Carnage is so good.
I will try. It's going to be... We've got some stuff coming up that my wife is not too happy about me leaving her for a weekend. But eventually she's going to be sick of me. And it's going to be like, go to a Warhammer tournament or I'll divorce you.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Well, there you go.
Fine. Yeah.
Or get a divorce and go to all the Warhammer tournaments.
Been there. It's not great. It's It's not.
No. You're not giving me much hope here.
Yeah, she's supportive, but yeah, we're going to have a new addition to our family, and that's going to take up a bunch of time. So, I don't know how it's going to be once the kid comes around. So,
that's fair.
So you're going into that whole human ownership thing, just like Elric?
I put my, deposit in. I'm on the waiting list. It's fine. We'll see how it works out. Got another 5 months before that happens, so.
Well,
Before you bring that sweet little tax break into the world.
Yeah. Can't wait.
It's good.
You get a sizable tax break, so, because, being foreign. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. Hit the mark. Hit the mark.
Anyway. So I told her the one ahead. Next year might be a bit touch and go, but future years I'm there. Even if it's not to play. Because I don't mind Las Vegas, even though it's ridiculously expensive for anything. But I figure if a bunch of us go, we can just get an Airbnb and have you your own wing, and it'll be good.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Keep you away from the beer house.
Oh yeah. Somebody's got to escort him. Jeez.
Yeah, just keep my phone out of my hands. That's
for damn
all
sure.
I need. Anyways.
Moving on.
So, LVO was a pretty good time. I want to move on now to... I did play, like I said, I picked up Carrion Empire. And I picked it up because it's got the Flesh Eater cards for me and the Skaven stuff for my wife who plays Skaven. And she has about 3,000 points worth of Skaven already painted up. So we decided to just throw down the very first scenario and see how it would play. Like I said, she needed to come up to speed on 2nd edition because last time she played was 1st edition rules. So yeah, it was kind of a fun game. We played it straight from the book there. It was reasonably one-sided, but I think I don't want to say it was tilted in my favor. It was tilted in the Flesh Eater Court's favor because that's a running campaign in there. It's not like just here's a scenario. But yeah, it was kind of fun to get her back up to speed in the game and get another taste for it. Hopefully we can keep that going, because it was it's a very limited set of units that you use in the very first scenario. So,
nice.
But still,
fun.
Yeah, and looking forward to doing more too. So, and like I said, she's building her Idoneth Deepkin and all that stuff. The next thing I want to bring up is these 2 games that are available from Barnes & Noble. And I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on them because one of them is called Blitzball, and it's a watered down version of Blood Bowl. The other one is called Space Marine Adventures, which is a kind of watered down version of Space Hulk. But if you've got younger family members or if you know of them, these are really inexpensive games. I think they're both like $39, $39.95. And they are fantastic. They have great rules that are super easy, and it's aimed for the 8+ crowd. So at the basic level, you can play that game with an 8-year-old, but it has enough additional stuff inside of it that you can actually play it. If you're a seasoned Blood Bowl player or, a seasoned Warhammer 40K player, there's enough stuff that adds to it that makes it a fun game. And they take about a half hour instead of a, hour and a half Blood Bowl game. So they're a really great introduction. And I just wanted to get the word out there. I think they're only available at Barnes & Noble. I think they're exclusive.
That's right. They're exclusive to Barnes & Noble. Even if you don't have kids and you want some unique Space Marine scalps, they are not Primaris Marines.
Right.
Just FYI. But they come in different colored plastics, so you know which one is a red ultramarine, which one's a yellow ultramarine, which one's a green ultramarine. They're all in there.
The Chaos Ultramarine, the green one.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to put both sides in the box, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Barnes & Noble.
Yep.
Right next to all the other games.
Yeah.
There.
Bingo.
They actually have a pretty decent selection of random board games.
Right.
Barnes & Noble now.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of getting cool. So anyway, next up, do you want to enlighten us, Ryan, a little bit more about SRBCN or?
I don't know where the C comes from.
SRBCN. Randy's butthole. Con. I didn't.
Con.
Randy's butthole. Con narrative 2019. SMRBCN.
Smash Randy's butthole con / narrative.
2019.
2019. It's the inaugural year of the narrative portion of
Randy Fest.
Smash Randy's butthole con.
Just rolls right off the tongue.
Tickets are already sold out. So.
Yeah.
Tickets are sold out. They were very limited because it is in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just want me to say Randy Fest?
Sure, Randy Fest would be better.
And that way you can just sub it over Smash Randy's Butthole narrative?
Yeah. Whenever we say Smash Randy's Butthole Con, I will replace it with Randy Fest.
And Randy is our friend from...
Is he,
Denver.
though? Is he?
No, he's an associate from... I'm kidding. Randy is...
Friend is such a strong word.
Takes
you
years
know,
to
when
build
Randy
that.
came to Denver, right, we hooked up on Warseer.
Grinder. Continue.
Pretty much. He posted, I've just moved to Denver. Is there any way to play Warhammer? It was like 8th edition at that point. He's like, this seems like the place where Warhammer comes to die.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it is. But there's a convention in, I think it was Feast of Blades, was going on in a couple of weeks or a month. And then we got to play at the event, and it lasted for a whole 45 minutes. That's when Randy realized that Demon Princes could fly over skinks, and then purple sun his entire army.
No way.
Randall.
Yeah.
Randingle.
So we had some beers, and ever since then, it's been a flowering friendship.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
So much so that we named an event after.
we did.
We did.
And he
You
doesn't
did.
like it. He hates it. But it's basically, he comes down from Denver. Somebody else come up from other places, like Albuquerque. We're actually getting some people from Greeley coming down.
Nice.
And he's all converge on my house.
Yep.
And just generally to get everybody around and play some games.
Yep.
Last time
Yeah.
we just played some fun games. This year I decided let's put a bit of effort in rather than people just showing up, and let's make sure that we're a little bit more structured, because I think we started playing a multiplayer Triumph and Treachery game at 10 o'clock on the Saturday last time.
Yeah.
And we got through 2 turns and everybody was like, yeah, we're going to bed.
Super
So,
tired.
we're going to do a little bit of narrative escapades on this, calling it AOS Asylum.
Dun, dun, dun.
So basically, everybody's converging on an asylum to gain the secrets from within, or hunt the monsters that have been released from it.
Yeah.
So we're setting it in Gur, and hopefully it's gonna be fun. Hopefully folks are gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be mixed point games, so 500, 1,000 points, 1,500 points, a bit of skirmish in there.
Yep.
Try not to be too overreaching with everything. Just so that folks can show up and play.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple and keep it fun for everybody.
Approachable. Yep.
I got to use a Rick and Morty quote in the rules pack, so that was fun.
Anytime
Nice.
you can do
Yeah.
that, it's a good pack.
But yeah, last year we got little tokens made up with
Yep.
Randy Fest 2018 on them, which makes it sound really terrible. When you're like, what are you doing this weekend? Randy Fest.
Yeah.
And we're like, is that like a sex convention?
Yeah.
Like,
It
no,
is
actually,
now.
it's 8 guys competing
in a
in my
garage.
garage.
In a garage, yeah. Yeah, playing with their little figures.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. So, no, but this should be fun. We've asked the NoCo guys to come down. Levi, Mean Kyle Bennett, and Old Man Johnson are coming down. So there are new additions to the mix. Matt, who just moved into the area as well. I don't think he knows what he's getting into.
Oh, no.
No,
poor
it's
guy.
like an outsider coming in. It's going to be rough.
Well,
But he's Canadian, so be polite. It's fine. So he's going to be coming along, and hopefully we can just have some fun games. Yeah, and it should all be done by 12 o'clock on the Sunday, so folks can either go home or chill in Durango for the afternoon if they want to. I mean, it's a picturesque town. Bit of narrative, we've been talking about it, so I figured let's actually do it rather than just talk about it.
Good call. Good call.
Cal,
I'm looking forward to it.
good. Hopefully you can make it. Not everybody on here, tickets are sold out.
maybe one of these years we'll select a random listener.
Oh, that would be terrible for them. But yeah,
Oh, man.
or fun.
All right, let's move on to LARP.
All right.
Okay, so now for the realm of lore, we're going to do something different. We're going to sort of do an overview of the audiobook, Realm Slayer, that was put out by Black Library some time ago, and I think it's really good. And we're gonna cover what we like about it, and some of the stuff we didn't like, and then we're gonna go into our thoughts on both the Flesh Eater Courts and the Skaven. This is not going to be like a face hammer tear apart the battle tome. It's going to be more overview and what we think is going to come of it and what the goals of the books were. And then we're probably going to talk a little bit about how the Flesh Eaters are actually the Bretonnians. So get over it, 8th edition people. The Bretonnians are dead. They're now the Flesh Eater courts. So
Half dead, undead.
yeah, so the Bretonnians are still around. They're just mostly dead. Anyway, Realm
Mostly
Slayer.
dead I can work with. It's all dead that I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, Flesh Eater courts live in that weird line between alive and dead.
Yay.
That's why Nagash has... Oh, wait, anyway, we're getting into that.
We're getting into that
Let's
thing.
move on to Realm
Let's
Slayer.
do
So,
Realm
Bill,
Slayer. Now, I'm coming at this from someone that had never really paid much attention, although I had read one Gortrek and Felix book in the past. I honestly didn't remember that much about it, but really I didn't know too much.
Cool. So I'm going to put you on the spot. What is the plot of this book? Well, it's not really a book. To be clear, it's an audio.
It's an
book.
audio drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, overall, what they're doing is bringing Gortrek, not Felix, Gortrek, into the mortal realms and updating his brain because he has a lot to figure out, especially when he hooks up, with a daughter of Cain who he pretty much thinks he shouldn't be being around. And I mean, just all the things that he has to discover. I think one of the funniest things I ever listened to was when he met the Stormcast and he kind of thought it might be Felix and he ripped his helmet off.
Yeah, he just starts hugging him and put him in a headlock and he just rips that off.
Uh-huh.
And the Stormcast is like, okay, I'm going to budge him out of the way,
Yeah.
and then realizes that he is no mere dwarf.
No, this is not some little guy.
You can't just push him over. So
Well, anyway, that happens later on in the books. So the CD, the audiobook, is split into 4 chapters, 4 CDs. Each one is about an hour long. And then there's a 5th disc in there with all kinds of interviews, and all the major characters are interviewed. And you come to find out that Brian Blessed is really the most interesting man in the world. He should be the Dos Equis guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's done everything.
you do, and not to just push him under the carpet or anything, but you also get an insight into all the other voice actors.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really cool to see how does one become
Yeah.
a voice actor, and how do they get involved, and what's their process and stuff like that, which is really cool. So if you have a chance to listen to it, definitely do. It's definitely fun to have a listen to them. What was weird with my copy, and I got it from Audible as part of my Audible subscription, was I did not hear any of the questions.
I know.
So there's a bit of silence, and then someone's like, well, I did that for several years, and then I did this.
Yep.
Oh, well, since you said that, yes.
Yes. Since you brought that up.
So there's a lot of that happens in that last chapter, or that last CD, or last section. But you do get a cool insight. But yeah, Brian Blessed, apparently, I'm pretty sure he could run 100 meters in probably 4 seconds flat. He has been the quarterback for the New York Giants at this point for several years.
Yeah.
He just shaves every time he goes on the field.
Yeah.
People call him Manning for some
I don't
reason.
know why.
Maybe it was supposed to be Manling.
Manling.
Who knows?
They spelled it wrong on the jerseys.
But it seems like he's lived a very interesting life, and he's been in a great position to do that. But he is the voice of Gortrek.
Yep.
And he adds his own persona through it. His very booming, deep voice. We were just talking about it there, and I don't know if he'd be my first choice for it. I suggested Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got that sort of Yorkshire twang.
Yes.
That he's got, and he just wouldn't die.
Yeah.
Which
For the
would
first
be a change.
time ever.
Yeah. But yeah, the voice acting in this was really, really good. They kind of assign different accents to different people or different races. So your dwarfs are sort of that Yorkshire.
Yeah. They have that.
Colloquialisms that come through. And then your Odessans.
Yes.
Odessans.
Yeah.
Which seem to be a desert tribe.
Yep.
The actors just put a lot of emotion into it, I felt. At first I was
Those
like,
lions were, that accent was just so spot on. Mm-hmm. I mean, and made me want to actually model those guys. It made me want to get a bunch of free guild or something and do those guys.
I actually reached out to David Geimer and asked, what sort of weapons do these guys use? What do you expect them to look like? He was like curved, like Kopesh type. But the lionesses would be using great weapons. Yeah. So I'm still trying to work out how to get that done. Because to start with, I was like, oh, here we go. Lions of Odessa. And you're like, oh, God, if they say that one more time. And then about halfway through the book, you're like, yeah, Lions of Odessa. Let's do this.
Guys, go.
Oh, that's not working out too well.
No. It doesn't. So, we're not going to cover this thing chapter by chapter because that would be nothing but spoiler alert after spoiler alert. But basically, Gortrek, at the very beginning of the book, he comes awake, basically, and he's smack dab in the middle of the mortal realms after thinking he was in the realm of chaos for, a couple of minutes, maybe a day or two. And no, sorry, buddy. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think this audio drama really shows you the difference between Warhammer and Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Really. They've implanted this iconic character from Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and he comes in, and the first people he meets, I don't want to ruin too much, but the first people he meets is some Fire Slayers. Yeah. And they recognize him as a dwarf, but he doesn't recognize them as dwarves.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, they're fire demons. Yeah. And, and he thinks one of his thought processes through the entire book is that he's still in the Chaos Realms. Yeah. Because this is
some
so
trick of the Chaos Gods to mess with him. And he's like, I won't break. You're not going to break me with this. Sorry.
Yeah, he thinks it's trick mainly because there's elves, there's fire demons, there's giant monsters, there's dead things, there's wizards, there's all these sorts of things, and at times they're all working together. Yeah. And he can't understand that.
And that's what he can't figure out is that the daughter of Cain, the dark elf, if you will, is working with him. And the dwarves, which refuse, they don't call themselves dwarves, they call themselves Dwarden. And he's like, I don't know what you think you are, but I'm here to tell you what you are. And yet they don't want to do the things that he's thinking they should do. It just messes with his head, something fierce. Really a great way of capturing how lost someone would be if you closed your eyes, opened them up 10,000 years later, and the world had changed this much.
Yeah,
so,
I also think bringing it into the real world, it's almost a parody of how the transition went. Yeah. Almost. You know, the player base went from
anger,
what they knew, and the acceptable norms, and now we live in a mortal realms full of absolute nuts. Yeah. You know, if you were to think that Dark Elves were party order or, using their old names, that they'd be dwarves and elves would be working together hand in hand. Mm-hmm. It's completely against what we grew up and knew from the old world. So I almost thought it was Gortrek's journey was the journey of people moving from Warhammer Fantasy Battles in AOS. And by the end of it, well, hopefully we all get to do what Gortrek did, but that's probably not going to happen.
Rage about it on Twitter?
Yeah, that's what he did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he does. Yeah. He says on Twitter account in the third chapter. Yeah. He doesn't quite understand it. It's changed a lot since when he was on it.
But his adventure to get his router hooked up was awesome.
Turns out they don't have fiber in the mortal realms.
Mm-mm. No, it's all dial up.
You got mail.
So yeah, I think it's a great audiobook. It seems to have done really well as well. People have been getting it left, right, and center, at least according to Mr. Geimer's tweets, which you can live comfortably for the next couple of months. Yes. Off those residuals.
Which is a good thing.
Which is good. It's good to see that, because obviously the more of this stuff that we buy, and if it's good quality, then people will buy it, and then we get more of it.
That's right.
Which is great. That's why I buy everything Age of Sigmar.
At first I was very, I want to say, timid. I was very nervous about them bringing an iconic old world character back into the mortal realms. And I'm like, boy, if you do that, you open the door to you'll just water it down with all the old crap that used to be out there. But in this case, I think what you said about this is nothing more than them sort of paraphrasing the whole journey into the mortal realms for everybody. It's a really good look at the book and how it's been put together, and specifically how the different situations were arranged. You know, it's not, I don't think it's lost on the writer or the reader that he's running into all kinds of things that in his day and age, he would have just slain without a thought. He would have just killed everything around him because these were his sworn enemies. But now in this Mortal Realms day and age, you're working with these people. So I think it's maybe to soften the blow a little bit for some of the changeover to AOS from Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, maybe. I had the same apprehension with them bringing back. When I heard that this book was getting made, I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Let them die.
Let's have new
get someone new in there. But I think the way they did it with Gortrek and the way they went through this book was great. I think by the time you get to the second chapter, you're already halfway on board with them being there.
Oh, yeah.
By the time you get to the third, you're rooting for them. By the end of it, you just want them to die.
Which is
with the Slayer.
Actually a good thing.
Yeah. But no, it was great. Also, his coping mechanisms throughout the entire book with this shock to his system.
Yeah.
He's used to having Felix by his side.
Yeah.
But he also feels at times a lot of regret for what he put Felix through and all the friends that he's lost. Because that's the other thing is, whilst he went up into the Chaos Realm for minutes, not a lot of the other people got brought over to Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Or into the realm. So everything that he knew is gone.
Yeah.
I think we're safe to say that. And I think he befriends another manling.
Yeah.
As he calls it. And at times he thinks he's fighting along beside Felix. And then he realizes at times, like, he almost goes into delusions of his own where he thinks it's Felix. He thinks it's other people that he knew and he came to care for throughout the Gortrek and Felix saga.
Yeah.
But then they just don't exist. You know, it's been thousands upon thousands of millennia.
Yeah.
He's been stuck in the Chaos Realms, but it's still fresh for him because he's only been there a couple of days. So it's definitely a really good read to see how you go through that. And, it takes you all over the realms.
Yeah. I think the big key in the third chapter is when they go to the underworld Shyish and he actually hooks up with one of his old buddies. And I think that's when it really hits him that, no, there's a lot of times gone by and those folks are gone. And, you know, he's actually talking to Snorri?
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So anyway, he's, you know, in the underworld and, whoops.
Well, he goes to the underworld and he gets obviously, as we know, from a grander and the books and stuff like that, everything goes to Shyish.
Yeah. Whether
it was in the world that was or not.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets to meet up with one of his old
mates and
companions, and they sit down and have a conversation, and it's very surreal. But I think that's the point where he starts to get acceptance, and realize that he's got to try and fit in here and fight.
He gets past the denial stage and the anger stage all at once, and he gets to move on.
And then we get some cool fighting.
Oh my god! Yeah,
a bunch of really cool scenes of people fighting. There's twists, there's turns in the story.
Oh boy!
Without going into spoilers, we can't talk too much about it. But I think if you haven't listened to it, definitely pick it up. Yeah. Have a listen. It's just it's a fun jaunt, and it sets itself up for potentially a series, which I almost hope they don't do too much. I don't want to see like one coming out every year or so. Yeah. But I think spotted around the adventures of him. If he survives, if he doesn't, would be super cool. Yeah. So
they have a lot to work with here, and they did a bang up job on that one. So
I think it also really. So a couple of things I want to touch on is that it really fleshes out some of the realm. It fleshes out some free people.
Yes.
Free guild as well as the Lions of Odessa, which is not the football team.
No.
Just to be clear. If you search for that to look for conversion ideas, you won't get the right thing.
You'll
just get a bunch of college football. Yeah. American football for the people outside of the small country. But then the other thing that I thought was super cool was at several points through the story, we see God beasts.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted to touch on this mainly because there's a god beast that shows up fairly early, but is way smaller
Yes.
than what we think a god beast is.
Should be. Yeah.
When I think of god beasts, I think if we were putting them on a 6-foot table, we'd get their toenail.
Yeah.
Massive, when you see it in the art. This one is, I don't know, probably the size of like a...
It's a magmadroth, sort of, bigger than a magmadroth size
Triple
thing.
the size, I think.
Yeah, triple
they
the
say.
size. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not real
It's not
impressive.
massive.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
it's
a
still
little bigger than
terrifying.
a Dreadsaurian, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Not
we
what
see
you
this show
think
up,
of.
and they're like, this is a god beast. And you're like, huh.
Whatever.
I mean, I'd be a little bit disappointed if that was my first god beast I've ever seen. Like, you just go around the world thinking that that's the size of god beast. People are like, well, the god beast tore up the entire continent. And you're like, what? That thing?
Really?
It's like super tiny.
Oh, you guys are weak.
But it does open up the potential, in my eyes, of god beasts showing up as an expansion at some point.
Yeah.
Just the lesser god beasts coming through. So, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and maybe they all don't have to be continent sized, and when they wake up, worlds die.
Right.
They don't have to be that way.
Maybe there'll be a section in the new RPG that's coming up that we didn't mention in the news section.
Yeah. We can hit that one hard next time.
Yeah.
So,
But that'd be super cool. But
Yeah.
Gortrek's back.
mm-hmm.
He's in the moral realms. Does he survive this story? We will let you find out on your own.
Yeah.
That it's Gortrek. So
Yeah.
he never dies.
That's right.
Um,
He gets messed up bad.
Yep.
But that's what he was looking for, so,
Where does he go now, though? Because what does the Slayer always take you? It takes you to the halls of Gungi.
Yeah, supposed to.
So where would it take him now? To, like, Nagash's realm?
Yeah, poor guy. I don't know.
Is that where Dwarf?
Poor
souls go?
Nagash.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad for Nagash.
Oh, he gets a new axe.
That's true, yeah.
That's on the cover. I think we can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the cover.
Yeah. He picks up a new axe that no one's been able to lift because it's so powerful.
It's supposed
he's
to be
like,
the
"Yeah."
axe of Grungni. And he's
Yeah.
like, I know him. You can't touch that. It's the Grungni axe.
And he touches it and it lights up.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
No biggie.
I want to know what he did with the other axe.
I know.
That was an expensive axe.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Grungy's axe as well?
No, it wasn't, was it?
No. If I remember right, I had a demon inside.
Yeah, it
of
was a demon axe.
No.
And
If I remember right.
I thought he had one of the two axes.
No.
They had.
He
And
walked
someone
around
else
with a
had the other
two-headed axe. And it would drink the souls of demons? I don't
Wow.
remember.
yeah, it was
That's pretty dark.
there was something about a demon in it.
There's probably people listening that are like, you morons! Yeah.
Of course there are.
I've
I
only-
always thought that him and the, Slayer King, Ingram had both sides of the axe.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great character, too.
The dwarves had great characters. Pity that no one's playing them these days.
Yeah.
If only someone had a dwarf army and wanted to rekindle that Dwarden dispossessed love,
Yeah.
rather than, I don't know, going with Iron Jaws or flying dwarfs. I mean, who would do that?
I don't know. So now, the one question I have for both of you is, they brought Gortrek back. Is there any other
Karl
fictional character from the old world that you think could make an appearance in the mortal realms and not screw it up?
As is, or like a cheeky nod, Stormcast style?
No, I
There's
mean,
a lot of
'cause
cheeky nod Stormcast.
Yeah.
we know Karl Franz came back.
Cetra,
Cetra came back.
what's his name? Balthazar Gal.
Balthazar Gelt is back, but I mean, they've all lost. I mean, that's the cheap way to do it, making them Stormcast. But what about, bring someone back in full with all their memories and not a god?
Well, I talked about it before with like the chaos and the undead, because you have like all those
That's who I
characters
was
still
gonna
exist.
suggest.
And at first that really bothered me.
Yeah.
But it, you kind of think about it and you look at where they are in the story and stuff. And I mean, they haven't really done anything with the chaos ones. Scarbrand smashes some stuff here and there, but
Yeah,
that's
he's just
pretty
a
much it.
background
It's really
character.
the death characters that keep showing up. And really it's just Manfred.
I'd like
And-
to see them do Soul Blight from a gaming point of view and bring back Abarash, the blood dragon.
The one that turns to chaos?
No, he turned to what he did was he went and helped the Bretonians at the end of the end times. So he left the Empire and went and fought beside them to protect a shrine. And then you never heard about him again because they never wrote that part of the book.
Yeah.
So I think that potentially he could have been in that shrine. That shrine's powerful enough to keep his soul alive, to get him reborn
Through
or
the new
through the loop. I also want to know what happened to that elf realm that just blinked out.
Oh, with
existence when Belkior went.
God, what was his name? The character that's just generic wood elf hero now.
Generic wood elf hero
with the bird.
Yeah, it's
God, what was it? Lowen? I don't remember.
Lothern, because that's the color.
No,
Lothern
I thought it was
blue.
an L. I don't remember his name.
I don't know. He had a bird that would pick people's eyes out.
Yeah,
And he was really just brought in right at the end, right?
he was brought out with the 8th edition Wood Elf
Yeah.
army book.
And then suddenly he took a bunch of elves that way.
Yeah,
And I still don't remember if Bellicor found it.
they hinted pretty heavily at it.
Yeah.
That was kind of the problem with the End Times books, is they were written. It started off so grandiose, and then it felt like they just kind of shoved it all through.
Rushed it.
At the end, because there's so many things that were brought up and then just never touched on again. Like all of the ogres and pretty much all the greenskins. You know, what's his name? Grimgor just shows up with a bunch of orcs at the very end of the story. It's like, huh, what have you been up to lately? He's like, oh, I'm the aspect of beasts incarnate. Wee! It's like, well, okay.
Could those be
Weird.
precursors to something they're going to do in the mortal realms?
I doubt it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because Teclis is around. I mean, he is in god form
Right.
now. He had imbued in him the powers. I'm surprised that Gelt gets to show up, because didn't he have metal in him? That was his power from that, the magic. So I would have expected him to show up in a different way within Shimon.
Not as a Stormcast.
Not as a Stormcast, but I think he dies, right? Didn't he get stabbed by Manfred right at the end? So
no, Manfred stabs.
I thought he stabbed Gelt, and that's what broke it all down.
It might be.
Yeah, so he's...
And then Teclis tried to grab 2 magics at the same time. He was light, and then metal was flying around. He grabbed it, and it ripped him apart. And that's when everything fell apart.
Malekith took Shadow. He lives in the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
So I think, will we see some of these manifestations? Maybe. But I think they've established that the actual gods existed or exist, unless you're an elf. And then apparently if you were one of the 4 people that survived the end times, you got to become a god.
Yeah.
Unless you're Marathi.
Then you became a sub-god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know how those gods work. They're funneling energy into her, all because, will she become a god? Like, how much energy does it take to become a god?
I don't know.
Let's ask Archeon.
He's not made it yet, so...
Really?
I would argue he almost has. He slapped Nagash down, and Nagash is obviously the god of death.
And he beat him like a red-headed stepchild.
Yeah, so did Sigmar with a ram's or an orc jaw.
Yeah, well, okay.
So, yeah.
Nagash is kind of a chode.
Yeah, he is. He's an accountant. He's not a fighter.
Yeah.
We've been over this.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I'm the great planner.
Yeah.
No.
But, as to answer your question, who could come back? It's fairly limited to anybody that went into the Chaos Realms. Undead, maybe, but even the undead that exist, the original 3 Mortarks.
Undead are too easy to bring forward, though, because, they're already back. They're already here.
Yeah.
So.
And, obviously demons.
Yeah, they're
never
easy.
Leave, you just bring them back.
Yeah. But I'm talking, mortal type. You can argue back and forth about Karl Franz as much as you want.
Already, probably.
Huh?
I hope so.
He is.
Any of the destruction ones? Is there, you think you could bring back, because there's a nod in the Gloomspite book towards Skarsnik.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the 8, because there's a group of goblins or something that worships this mythological goblin that conquered 8 peaks or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but so there's a nod towards that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of what we're going to see, right? That there's these myths, there's these legends.
Yeah.
There's
People
this
from
guy
the old
that does
world.
this. Yeah.
But how do they cross over? How would goblins know about Skarsnik?
Through the tales.
But who was there to tell them?
Well, people survived, right? Because if not, why do we have high elves and dark elves?
Yeah, but
and
why
dwarves?
would they talk with goblins to pass on those?
They're not the only ones that survived, though. Some of the goblins, first generation goblins, first generation
the OG
orcs,
goblins.
they exist. I mean, that's I think where the lore, and I've never read anything to tell me what happened at that point.
Yeah.
When the realms were created, or they existed, apparently, and Dracothian brought Sigmar to them. And in his year, there was dragon ogres before he threw them out there when he set up his... So what lived in these realms? How did they get there? So
Yeah, and did they snap into existence the minute the old world snapped out? Or were they always there? I mean, I don't know.
answers on a postcard to...
Yeah, really.
If anybody does know, get in touch, because I'd love to read that bit of background as to what happened at that point.
Yeah.
Because I think we all focus on the now, right? And a little bit in the back. But what happened at that point where... And it's the age of myth, right? So it's, oh, well, no one knows.
Yeah.
But something had to have happened.
Well, okay, but would you want any more of those characters, or would you just want them to create new?
No, that's the
exciting...
thing is I want them to create new... One of the things you were talking about earlier was, the Black Talon book. And I always thought at the beginning of AOS that they tried too hard to make some of those Stormcast characters into heroes. You don't make a heroic character and an interesting character by telling me that it's interesting and heroic. You have to show me that they're cool. The first character that I've ever really liked, I liked Balthazar from Soul Wars, but the first character that I've Stormcast kind of one that I've really gotten attached to was Knave Black Talon, because she's got personality. She's got that whole thing of, I'm not this mindless automaton that says Sigmar's great. I had dreams, I had visions in my head back then of, fascist states just all saluting Sigmar and marching off to war. And I was like, okay, Vandus Hammerhand's more of an idiot than a great general, but you're telling me he's the greatest general and he has to live and all this stuff. And I'm like, why? He's a moron.
Yeah. I think what makes a hero is a villain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what they need to start developing here is you need this realm's Gortrek. We need a group of stories. And I know it's early, and I know they have to start somewhere. We need stories about people that live in this world that do heroic things that have nothing to do with the Stormcast, that have nothing to do with Nagash, has nothing to do with Malekith and other pointy-eared snotlings, whatever.
I mean, I really hope that elves don't define the genre or the game this time, because if you connect everything back in the world that was, sorry elves, but you gone beeped up. That is literally, if you follow the entire history through there, it's elves that did X, it's elves that did Y. Apart from Archeon's Fall from Grace, but even then I'm going to say it was probably an elf that wrote the book that he read that drove him to madness.
But see, they were still stuck in that token-esque, back when this is all being gestated.
So that's what I'm saying.
It was a very token-esque kind of thing, and elves started everything in tokens estimation, so it just followed suit that they would sort of...
Pretty much do it in 40K, too.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's where I'm hoping that they diverge a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, just to touch on your point of, well, during the Realm Gate Wars, all the Stormcast were heroes and things like that. If I look at it from the realm, or the lore that we've got. So we had the Age of Myth, we had the Age of Chaos, then we've got the Age of Sigmar. There's a reason that these books are potentially written to make these guys sound, if I'm being super naive, which I probably am, but all these Stormcast books come out. All these Stormcast books come out and show the Stormcast as powerful heroes, the savior. They instill hope in the set. Mm-hmm. And now we're in second edition where hope is beginning to fade.
Yeah.
People are getting jaded with the Stormcast. Not just the Stormcast themselves getting jaded with the, hey, beat me a couple of times over an anvil, but the people in the realms are getting jaded with, oh, here comes the Stormcast again.
Yeah, again.
Here comes these Sky Knights who just kill entire villages because there's a little bit of chaos. And I think that's potentially this arc for this edition, is the slow but inevitable decay of the hope in the realms. We're all talking about souls and grabbing after souls. It's the soul edition, right? Whose soul are you after?
Yeah, we're in the soul wars.
Yeah.
Look at us.
But I think it's almost, where's the hope? Where's the spark that'll start a rebellion?
For the little
across
guy.
the galaxy. Against Nagash. No.
We need you, Anakin.
Where is that? And will we see something that comes out that instills that hope in people? Or will we just see Age of Sigmar get darker and darker and darker until it becomes the grim dark of the far, far future?
No, I don't think they'll go down that road. I think they've learned not, because that's how you paint yourself into a corner. That's how you paint yourself into Warhammer Fantasy, is by doing stuff like that. You make it to where it's too much of a struggle to get out of it, so you have to blow it up. I don't think they're really ready to blow it up again.
No, I don't think so either.
So.
I think we'll see ebbs and flows.
Oh, yeah.
I think we'll see an addition of hope and everything's
Sure.
bright and sparkly to, we're down in the gutter, where even our logos went darker.
Yeah.
To, hey, we're now back in, we're going to see some more Order armies. We're going to see some... Because that's where we're at, right? Is we've built all these free cities. We're expanding. We're in that yay phase. But just like the Roman empires that started to get too far out from the central government, it just started to collapse.
Yeah. It starts to wheel in a little bit. And it should, because you now have that opportunity. They haven't nailed a specific date, but they've said we're basically 100, 200 years removed from the Realm Gate Wars now. And yeah, you're right. Cities have sprung up. There's generations out now that don't remember the Realm Gate Wars. They don't remember the Stormcast as saviors. They just remember them as the guys that come through and act like a bunch of jerks. So they don't have that hero worship. And I mean, I think where they're going is really incredible, because you can do anything. You can have entire chapters, entire, what do they call them now? Chambers of, not chambers.
No.
Hosts of Stormcast that are really good, and the people love them. And then you can have the Knights Excelsior, which when they show up, people run like scared kittens because they kill everything, and it now has personality. Now you can do so many things with the Stormcast, and there's so many opportunities to write lore out there that hell, you can go anywhere. And I mean, they've said it over and over and over again on the streams and everywhere else that they can do anything. They can actually have anything they want now, which is way better. So I hope they don't get stuck in that rut of bringing things from the old world back because you think that's what is necessary. It's not. It's not. Give me more Knave Black Talons and less Gortreks. Even though I love the book and I really highly recommend it, I don't need to see that stuff back. I want to see more cool, current Mortal Realmers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it.
Well, I mean, you've summed it up well there, Bill.
I'll mail that to GW.
I've got a big list of things to mail to GW, but I know that it's pointless, so I'm not gonna. My Netflix movie idea.
Yeah,
Throwing that one in there. My where do we think the realm should go? I mean, that's a podcast in itself. Right, I know. There.
Or a podcast segment.
Yeah.
That we could do every
We can just
time.
start doing it.
Or people could even write in with what they think, and we could discuss it.
That's right.
Yeah. We get some fan mail.
Yeah.
From the, hey, you're all wrong. You missed this part of the lore, which... and that's what I really want in this kind of segments on our next slots, right, on the Fleshier Gorge book or the Skaven book, because I've not had a chance to delve into the lore on that side yet and read through the fronts of the books.
Okay.
But I want to, because every new book that comes out has hints.
It does. They drop a lot of hints in this one.
And I always get excited, overly excited to think about, well, they said this one line, so that means this.
That means this is what's coming.
Yep.
And then disappointment when it doesn't.
So you want to put off the Skaven and Flesh Eater Court?
Yeah, let's wait until we've had a decent
better chance to digest it. Okay, yeah.
We can sit here and go, we've read the FAQ, and suddenly becoming battle line and not being a behemoth is silly.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You don't want to fight against 6 Terrorgeists?
I don't care about fighting against 6 Terrorgeists, but are you telling me that a monster stops being a monster just because it becomes part of a battle line?
It doesn't.
Are you trying to pigeonhole their role?
Away.
Yes, I am. No, I'm
trying to tell them what
role.
they can't be.
No, I'm telling them they can be battle line, but they can be like the Beastclaw Raider battle line, which retains the behemoth.
For now, maybe Beastclaw Raiders are getting redone.
Maybe they'll be redone.
Yeah.
How about that?
I just think it's fine. As people have said, it lacks the numbers, but it doesn't really, because numbers don't count when you're dead on objectives. So I think it'll be a fun challenge. I think someone pointed out, I think it was you, Elric, in the chat, that it's a rock, paper, scissors type army. Even the people that were rocking 4 Terrorgeists and Zombie Dragons at the weekend aren't going to suddenly jump up to 6 to try and make it better.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not.
If your army can deal with 2 terror guys, it can deal with 6.
What does open up is just the fact that you can have more behemoths. So when you're playing a big game where you have limits on that, you can go, okay, well, these are now battle lines, so I can get more monsters in.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually run some cool scenarios where it'd be like Bretonian style scenario where you have your courtiers from your flesh eater guards trying to take on just 2,000 points of monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, you can do it, and you can do it to match play points legally within match play constraints. Although if you're playing that sort of game, you're probably not caring too much about match play. But if you want to keep it fairly reasonable, then that's what you can do. And
not let it get too out of hand.
Yeah, you can get a cool battle happening. I mean, it'll look cool. It'll look like a great army, but I don't think it's going to be any more soul crushing than the 4 Terrorgeist army coming at you with then 40 goals coming on the board at each side. I mean, the FAQs at times being a little, or the designer's commentary, especially for the Skaven, is just confusing. I don't know if it was written by a Skaven. Who's that? That's Phil Kelly. Is it? No, it's 3 rats in a coat. He's wrote there. It seemed to have bundled a bunch of questions together and then just
answer them all at once.
No.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, which part of the question are you
to all. Yeah.
You're saying all of it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more clarification in the clarification document.
No means no.
It's a game. Folks. Let's just play the
Plastic
game.
Army Men and let's have fun.
Yeah, if you don't agree with the other person, then just roll off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
all right,
we'll get to that once we've read the lore. I'll probably be like, "Oh, these are great! Look, it sounds like this." I do find the ones kind of interesting, the ones that worship the sun, the Blisterkin. I want to read into their lore and see why they worship a sun when it seems to do crazy damage to them.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Cool.
All right, so should we wrap it up and call it a show?
Let's wrap this up so I can drive home.
Yep.
You can't drive home yet.
They don't know we're recording the intro at the end.
Oops.
If you would like to get in touch with us, you can reach us on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. Our Patreon page is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, again, all one word. The Twitter account for the show is at rolling_bad, and our individual Twitter accounts are, for me, at Bill Castello, Castello, and for Ryan, he is at RTGamer. All of our guests on the show will have their contact information in the show notes, and any products that we mention will also be similarly placed in the show notes. The music for the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and used under the Creative Commons license.
We're recording on Saturday, March 2nd, and I am your host, X. With me tonight is RT. Right? Like that?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Goes in the blue.
Stormcaster. Cool. Welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 63. 63? Really?
Yes.
When was the last one I did? 51 or some shit like that?
No, 54 or 56.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I'd been
Still
going.
ended last year.
Coming to you from the desolate
you just
wasteland.
start that again.
Stormcaster. Cool. 1, 2. Is this how I'm supposed to do it? I forgot. 3, 4. Bill. 5. Stormcaster. Cool.
I mean, you're right on the mic.
Am I?
Yeah.
Do I need the tip in my mouth?
No, I don't- well.
Is this a little better?
Oh, now you're coming in okay.
Yeah, see, I was too far away from it.
All right, were you?
I guess.
Okay, we'll adjust it to where you're comfortable.
Is this good now? Stormcaster. Cool. Let me clip this real quick.
So, we have you back. You remember the show now. And your first contribution is clipping parts off a sprue.
To be honest, it's a fairly key part of the hobby.
Somebody has to have realm of creation stuff, Bill.
What is your realm of creation? I'm doing it right now.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Clip, 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 clip.
Hobby along at home. Stormcaster. Cool.
So,
All right, I'm done
done?
flipping.
Okay.
Yes, now
You
I'm down to filing. And
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
That's not going to make any noise.
I'm not trying to be mean. If you need more,
I once was
we'll
just playing around with a knife on the podcast, and Bill didn't bring it up until the end. It was like, "What were you doing?" I'm like, "Just playing with a knife here." And he's like, "Huh." I wondered what the noise was throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, throughout the entire.
wow.
I'm like, next time bring it up early.
Well, I didn't want to say anything and be rude. Come on. It's like if you're doing something, I can edit it out.
It's my
no big
left
deal.
elbow every time I
Yeah.
move it. It clicks.
It might be your elbow. Okay. Anyway, we have enough blooper. Let's move on. Da-da-da.
Stormcaster, cool. Imported laborers of darkness.
Yeah, I don't have those social hang-ups. I'm not American.
Yeah.
Um,
Calm
so-
down, Miss Cortez.
wow. um,
Oh, I got him!
Really?
I got him!
You haven't seen that?
What?
People, yeah, there's a textbook that says that we imported labor from Africa to help build this country. It doesn't say anything about slavery. It's all imported labor.
indentured service?
No?
Nope,
No,
nope.
imported
labor. So,
Okay.
you know,
Sweet.
you say apples, I say
Imported labor.
imported labor. I mean, wow.
Wow. Okay.
Stormcaster, cool. All right.
So, Elric, you
Yes.
were the ass TO, or I'm sorry, assistant TO
Yeah.
at LVO. Why don't you tell us how that went?
It went good.
Good.
Sweet. Cool. That's the
Yep.
segment. Thanks.
LVO was good.
Everybody.
So I guess we just move on to Lore.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, it was, you know, it was really good. God,
Was it good,
He's
Elric?
so out of practice. It's
I am.
awesome.
This is bad. I need training wheels. No, it was good.
So we've established it was good.
It was good. It was good.
Why
there
was it
anything-
good, Elric?
You know, because we made it good.
We done good.
Yeah, we did good. Everybody was good. You know.
So you used a different format this year than in years past.
How so?
Okay.
Okay, I can
You
no
always
longer breathe.
You
And
always just start from scratch here.
yeah, I think maybe
From
we
the top.
just start from the top.
All right.
Because we got a good 2-minute blooper there.
God.
Good.